let's move on to podcast number 2.
Hello and welcome to Logan Sounds Off, where we talk about books, music and a whole lot more. I'm your host, Logan Kelly.
So tell us about Logan, Karishma.
Yes, so Logan Kelly is a very adorable 11-year-old Irish boy who has a real passion for music, radio and books as well. And he decided to set up his own podcast to review books and invite guests in as well. And he's been at it ever since, but really this year is when he started really focusing on his podcast, getting out episodes regularly as well.
So you picked an episode for us to listen to. He usually has a guest each week. Tell us about this one.
Yeah, so this one is an interview with Katrina Hegarty, and she is a Donegal radio DJ. She has a passion for music and she does a lot of DJ sets as well. So all of Logan's guests are people that he's really interested in, and maybe people that we've never heard of before, but he has picked them because he has this passion for what they're looking into.
Yeah, he's really into music, as you said, and that forms the basis of their conversation mostly.
Yeah, so they talk about all of their favourite music. So Katrina is in her 40s and of course Logan's very young, he's only 11, and you think they might not necessarily have music in common, but Logan seems to be wise beyond his years and know a lot about music from the past few decades, and certainly he's looked it all up as well. So he seems to have heard of all of the artists that Katrina mentioned as well as her favourites.
So they talk about the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, bands like that, and in particular they have quite a long chat about Kate Bush.
You know Hounds of Love by Kate Bush?
Yes.
Did you know that side B was meant to be a scary side? That it was
I didn't know that.
It's kind of supposed to be eerie and creepy. And I was like listening to the songs and they were. The other side was more Kate Bush, but the other side was it was just a bit weird. But I've really loved some of Kate Bush's stuff.
Kate Bush would be one of those sound innovators. There's one of her albums there when her son was a very young baby that she recorded sounds of her son, and it's part of a song of her being outside. It's kind of all the natural kind of birds and everything singing outside.
Is that Ariel's?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So yeah, he's telling her things that she doesn't know.
Imagine that as well, being schooled by an 11-year-old. But of course, Kate Bush has become so popular recently because, of course, she was featured in Stranger Things with her songs. So that's why all the kids are listening to Kate Bush these days too.
Another Stranger Things reference, Karishma. It's almost like you planned it.
It's very strange.
You've already hinted at Logan, how great he is. But I can't imagine having a long conversation with an 11-year-old boy, frankly. But he seems so genuinely interested in his guests and in what they have to say and adding his own point of view. I thought he was fantastic.
Yes, he was great. He's so charming and earnest, and he really does his research as well into the subject, so it's not like he's just rocking up without any preparation. And it seemed like he had gone into radio stations and done his homework and really learned how to interview as well. So, I think this will really appeal to budding podcasters who are inspired by this to maybe start their own podcast as well.
Obviously it is great for people of that age, but what's interesting is that he is interviewing people who are much older. There's an episode with Mary Coughlin, for instance.
Yeah.
And there's something so disarming about a child that age asking questions that I think it really opens the interviewee up, because they're quite willing to sort of give an honest answer to an honest question.
Yes, he could ask them anything and I feel that they would probably answer it. And of course, some adults are, from the off just happy to chat to kids, but then some of them need a bit of warming up because maybe they're not used to chatting with little kids. But I think he does it really well, and he's just so warm. And he's interviewed the owners of a bookstore as well in Westport, so he's going far and wide with books and music. So it's not just authors or musicians, he's going quite broad with that as well.
Yeah, he's terrific. So that's Logan Kelly. The podcast is called Logan Sounds Off. That's an independent production. Thanks, Karishma.
Thanks, Kathy. See you next week.
That's Karishma Kusarkar with The Unexplainable Disappearance of Mars Patel and Logan Sounds Off, a real star of the future there.